What's going on? It's STS from NAC, and you're watching The Beat Shine. It had to be between LL Cool J and Too Short. I think it was more so Too Short. When Too Short dropped The Ghetto, I learned it, the whole song. And my brother was like, wow, how'd you learn that whole song? I was like, man, I just felt it. It was Too Short, and it was The Ghetto. And I was a kid. I think my first tape I remember was LL Cool J. My favorite aunt bought it for me. My grandmama's sister. She brought me the LL Cool J with I Can't Live Without My Radio. Man, it changed my life. I had to give it up. I had to say Andre. Like, once I started listening to Outkast, I was like, it changed my whole life. Because, like, I was in Atlanta, and, you know, you have Outkast, like, our first rapper was, like Kilo. And Kilo was, like, doing the Miami-based booty shake type stuff. And, like, I remember when Andre said, man, we grew up on booty shake. We did not know no better thing. And it was like, man, I get it. But then you've had somebody who was, like, a lyricist, and so it had to be the AT Aliens album. It wasn't even the first one. Southern Playalistic, I just wanted to ride around with my uncle and them while they play that. But when AT Aliens came out, I was in middle school, and man, I was blown away. Like, I was doing poetry, and I was doing good doing poetry, but I go to ciphers and stuff. I just be in the hood, and everybody be like, yo, you might as well just rap. And so we had this mixtape store on 11th Street between Market and Chestnut in Philly. And then, and my man was playing this beat. They put a studio inside the mixtape store. My man was like, yo, he was doing his beat, and it had bubbling sound in it. And I was like, yo, whoever does the song, you should call it bubbling. And he was like, yo, you should write it. And I was like, I don't really rap. I was like, I just do poetry. He's like, but you can write, so just write the song. So they kept the store open for me. Like, we probably stayed there like 12 something that night. The store usually closes like 7 o'clock. And we just, like, my first time in the studio in a booth recording and everything. And then like next day, man, I came back downtown to the store, and as soon as I came around the corner, I heard the music playing, and everybody was like, yo, Sugar, like, yo, you the one. And from then on, I just kept rapping. Like, it was never, it just happened. Like, it was one of them things, like, man, I wanted to be a poet, but rap just kind of happened for me. I did Def Poetry. When I did Def Poetry, my man Black Ice, who was like one of the big poets from that thing, he took me to Jazzy Jeff's studio because he was working on a project with Jazz. And when Jazz had a rapper who knew me from just from being out in the streets or whatever, and he was like, yo, word is you can rap. And I was like, yeah, I can, but it was Ice Session, so I wasn't trying to step on nobody's toes. And he was like, yo, rap. Jazz put on the beat, and I just started going. And Jazz was like, yo, get in the booth. After that, Jazz put me on to Dre and Vidal. Dre and Vidal, who produced a lot of that, like neo, like the neo soul, the touch of jazz stuff. They started getting more into, like, 'cause they get more commercial music. Like, they did Usher, Chris Brown, Sierra, the old song, which I co-wrote thanks to them. So it's like things just started moving. It was just so, you know, I had to credit Black Ice, Jazzy Jeff, Mark Byers, Tina Byers, Dre and Vidal. That's who really put me on. We just go through the studio. I just go with Ice to the studio and just hang out. And, like, man, I met Earth, Wind and Fire down there. Like, I just be around there meeting people. And, like, once Jazz found out I could rap, he just let me be in the studio whenever. Like, he'd literally leave the studio and just let me stay all night. I could stay there all night and just sit in the studio and just write. So, like, I wouldn't leave. And then they put me over to Dre and Vidal. Dre and Vidal were across the hall from his studio. So once I got in with Dre and Vidal was doing so much like traveling and stuff. They was hardly at the studio, so they just leave me there engineer. And I was like, yo, I got a professional engineer, and I got tracks from Dre and Vidal. Yo, I just went crazy. I was being there like every day. My older brother is the support factor for me being able to do most of the stuff that I've done. Like my family was not for me doing music, so that's why I kind of left home early. Like because I'm from Atlanta, so I went up to I actually came up to Philly to visit, and I went to the Black Lily. And they had this like that's where Jill Scott, Music Soul Child, everybody used to be like that's where they got started before they was big. Everybody used to be there. And so when we once I saw that, man, I never went back. This very room, I remember I did a show here, and little did I know KRS-One was sitting in the audience. And like after my set, I come down here, and I'm just talking, smoking or whatever. I turn around. It's KRS-One, man. I walk over. I'm like, yo, I just want to meet you. He's like, man, I came down here to meet you. He's like, man, I'm sitting up there eating my salmon, and like I hear you. And he's like, man, I just had to come down to shake your hand. I was like, yo, like you know, like my life's kind of cool, you know, kind of get to do some cool stuff. I was on the Roots, How I Got Over, Grammy-nominated album, How I Got Over, and I had 2 songs on there, and just like because when I moved up to Philly, like. You know, I actually wanted to do a poem on the Roots album, but I ended up rapping on it, and then we ended up doing a side group, Money Making Jam Boys, and it was like, I think that was probably like one of the biggest things for me. I think that had to be it. It's like it's Philly, it's the whole reason I moved there, like just to work with those guys, and you know what I mean? Music has allowed me to go everywhere. Like, I've been everywhere I want to go. I had a situation over in Germany, and like I never thought in my life I'd go to Germany, but I got to go to Germany. I got to go to. I've toured all over Europe. Like, I don't know, man. Music allowed me to do everything. Like, I can do anything I want. So I love it. I just want people to know me as the greatest poet alive. Whoever lived, because I probably, hopefully I won't be dead, but you know what I mean. I just want to be like that. That's always been my dream, to be like one of the greatest poets ever. So like, music, man, music's a part of it, like the whole lyricism and stuff. But I just want people to remember me making good music and being one hell of a lyricist. That's it.